Hey everybody, today we're going to introduce you to Dotloop or perhaps learn a little bit more about Dotloop. Dotloop is our platform that we use for all things real estate. It's where all your templates and files and paperwork will be found or uploaded on this platform. It's cloud-based, so you can access it anywhere you can get internet or cell phone service. There's a great app. That app can be shared with your clients as well. It's a free service for them. It's an app you need to have on your phone. Today we're going to look at the desktop version of Dotloop and go through just the basics, like a good basic overview of how to use it. This overview will cover account settings and profile setup, document preference, your first loop, templates, just frequently asked questions, best practices, and submitting for review, and then how your clients can benefit from Dotloop as well. So let's get started with just profile setup. You should all have created your accounts and should have set up your profile, but we're going to go through those things just to make sure you did it correctly. So let's go on to the website here. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this page, but it can always be accessed. This help tab, if you are signed into your Dotloop, this is where you would go to your sign in when you're on your desktop. You can save your sign-in information. To access the help page, you would click on your face over here in the right corner. You won't have these different profiles. You'll just have your own. But you'll click on Help Center, and it's going to take you right to that page that I began at. And it's divided in different categories. We're going to start here on the agent category. And we're going to look at My Account, and we're just going to click on Account and Profile Setup, just to make sure different things were done correctly. So when you sign into your account, you can click on My Account and choose your person. Like I said, when you sign into Scott's there, you see that he has different ones to choose from. So make sure you click on the right one if for some reason you have multiple accounts. And when you do that, just go ahead and scroll down and select it. Make sure you add an account photo. You don't have to do that, but you can go ahead and add a photo just to help brand your information a little bit more for yourself. If you need to update your password, you can do that here as well under My Account. So here I can change my photo, I can change my password. I can make sure my name is in here correctly, make sure my name is capitalized. I can update my phone number. All of this stuff needs to be put in here. Where it says company name, you'll add our company, Realty Executives Associates Main Street. Your job title is Realtor. You can add your NERDS number here. That's your NAR or your Realtor ID. Something else to do is make sure you are integrated with Zillow Premier Agent. And I'll show you why later. But integrating with Premier Agent allows you to ask for reviews from Dotloop into your Zillow account. So you can link your account to Zillow Premier Agent. So if you haven't set up a Zillow account, make sure you do that. Zillow Realtor account, it's on that sheet I gave you. I'm a realtor, now what? But creating a Zillow account is important. As realtors, typically we don't care for Zillow. It's kind of like that uncle that gives you things all the time. So they provide a service for us and we'll use it to help us. So on to review kind of what we talked about. Under your account settings, make sure your name and information, your company, your job titles there, and make sure you link to Zillow Premier Agent. Something else you can do here under profiles, obviously select the one that you use. Make sure your phone number's in there. That's our office phone number. You can add the broker's license number. You can add the office license number. All of this stuff, if you add it, will help autofill it later on. The company information, the address, this just plugs that in here. So that's all under your account, under your profile. Just make sure that information is correct. Next, if you want to set up your document preferences, you will go back to your account, choose your profile, and you'll click on the document preference link, which I'll show you from Scott's. It's right here. So you've clicked on my account and you've clicked on document preferences. And all that is probably something you don't care about. But if you want to choose your font and change it the way it looks, you can make it look like a typewriter if you want to. If you want to make everything bold, you can do that. If you want to change it to blue, you can do that as well. And you can have a default setting for your font size. Now, font size can always be changed in your documents once you are creating them. Sometimes you'll have to shrink your font size to make some of the information fit. So it's just like a word processor. You can change those things there. So document preferences. Next, real quickly, are messenger notifications. So you're going to want to make sure you're getting notifications from your app. Push notifications means they're going to push through from your app to your phone and via email, and you can also get it via text message. That's up to you. You can register your phone number there, but that's something you're going to make sure that's turned on, and just make sure any changes you make, you save them. So that should help you clear up your account and make sure everything's set up there. Next, we'll start talking about creating your first loop. Creating a loop. So when you open Dotloop, you will be brought to this page, and to create a loop, you'll hit the large plus sign here in the right corner. It's going to ask you to name the loop. Best practice is to go ahead and put the address in. So when you create a loop, you're either writing an offer or you're listing a piece of property. Now, if you do not know the name of the address of the property, or you've forgotten, or you're just trying to put a loop in there, it's fine to just name it the people's names. But the importance of starting with a property address is Dotloop is integrated with different platforms. And most importantly, Dotloop is integrated with Dotloop. So if the other agent you're working with also has a Dotloop account and also has all of their documents there, you're going to want to integrate with them so that your documents can be shared seamlessly between each other. Or perhaps the listing is on the MLS, which it should be. You can also integrate with the MLS and you can pull some of the information. So when you type your address, I try to type it slowly and to pay attention because it's going to ask you some questions. So, for example, a property that one of our agents has listed. I'm going to use it as an example because I want you to show you what happens. So I believe the address is 1502. And notice that things are popping up here. It's going to pull different information, and see it's already pulling some MLS listings. I'm going to keep typing. So I have I have an option here. This is listed by Kathy, and it says Dotloop MLS number. This is going to be the one I want and the one I would want to join the loop from. So notice that there are two here, and ultimately there'd probably be three because they're going to be a Google address. The best one to choose is the one that says Dotloop because it'll connect your loops together. And so you'll share things back seamlessly. If you don't, it's okay. You can also choose this MLS one. And like I said, if a Google Maps pops up, like this one, it's also okay to select that. But the best one is going to be Dotloop. That won't always happen because not every agent has a Dotloop account. So I'm going to go ahead and select that just for practice sake. We'll pretend that's the address. Good practice for you would just be to put your home address in this box and select the Google Maps. So that's a good practice. So why don't you put your home address here, select it, and hit continue. It's going to ask you what kind of loop it is, a template, is it a listing, or is it an offer? Doesn't matter. Here, it doesn't matter. You can choose either one, but if you're getting ready to list a property, go ahead and determine that it's a listing. If you're selling that property, go ahead and put sale. And you do not have to upload a photo. And it'll go ahead and create that loop for you. From here, I can go ahead and select a status for it, and we'll talk about different statuses. I'm going to make an offer on this property. So I'm going to put pre-offer. I don't know what the price is yet, so I don't have to put anything there. And I want to go ahead and view that loop. So the first thing to do when you successfully created your loop, you want to begin by adding all the people necessary to the people section of the loop. So if you'll scroll down, you'll see people. You'll also see Kathy Morrow here because I have joined her loop. I don't see anything in here because Kathy Morrow has not shared anything with me yet. So all your paperwork is always private until you share it with somebody else. So first thing, like I said, we're going to go to our people. We're going to add a person. So to begin this, you'll click Add Person and begin by entering their information. All you have to add is their full name and email address and their role. So you're probably working with a buyer. We'll name them Joe Buyer, and we'll add their email address here. Okay? You can be as specific as possible. All this information will save for future reference. So it's fantastic. It works as a client management system as well. So all that's required is full name, email, and role. So as you add people, it is very important that you enter their names as you want them to appear on the contracts. So it needs to be their legal name. This is the name that will go on their deeds. This is the name that they legally use to sign. So that's an important question to ask because a lot of people go by nicknames. So you need to get their legal name, how it needs to appear on the contract to go here. These names will then be auto-filled through every other document in this transaction. So, like I said before, full name, email address, and a role. If you have two people that are signing the contract, they have to have their own email address. Two people are not able to sign as individuals from a single email address. Team members are individuals who are working with you in this transaction. So, for example, on my team, this is the admin. So that's us at the office. We're on your team. For example, if you had a co-listing agent helping you sell the home, they would be a team member. You would want them in your loop. So if Scott was working with another agent in the office, if Scott and I were working together on a listing or a purchase of a property, we would be on my team. Very important. If I decided, I want to add Kathy to my team. If you do that, you cannot undo it. So it's very important. Do not add anyone to your team unless they are a co-listing agent or a co-buying agent with you. Otherwise, you don't need to add them on there. You don't want to put your clients on the team. No one needs to be on your team unless they are the admin or they're actually a co-listing agent or co-buying agent for you. Because team members see everything you see. This aids in the flow of information between you and your partners or admins. Roles are very important. Be sure to select the current role for the individual you are adding, as Dotloop will use the role to fill in their information onto documents for you. You also have the ability to send an introduction email by checking the box within this window. I'll show you here. Send intro email. I advise doing that. The email that is generated when you check that box and add a person, I'll show you what it looks like here. It looks kind of like this. It just says, welcome. They've invited you to contribute to a transaction, and you can even type in a custom message for them and help them get started, just so they kind of understand what the process is going to look like. It talks about what the documents do and how they can edit, share, and sign. It also can allow them to go ahead and download the Dotloop app. Make sure you also choose your role. When you're added to the loop, you won't be given a role yet. So if you're making an offer, make sure you select that you are the buying agent. So if If you have questions about adding people, please let me know, but that should be your first step when creating a loop. Now that you've added people to your loop, the next step will be to view details. So at the top of the page, you will see all the fields available that are specific to your transaction, such as the property address and financials. The more you fill out on this page, the less manual typing will need to be done in the interactive documents, as Dotloop will auto-fill this information for you when necessary. Fill out as much of the details page as possible, and then save your information by clicking the Save button at the bottom or top right of the page. Clicking Back to Loop on the top left of the page will take you back to your standard loop page. So here, it's a great idea to go ahead and put, like I said, the most information that you can: purchase price, earnest money, closing dates, offer dates, PIN numbers, anything that you have that will help save you time in the future. And once you've finished it, just click Save. It'll tell you it's been successful. And you can always click Back to Loop to go back to where you started. Now that we've provided as much information as possible to Dotloop, we will begin adding our documents. You add your documents last for this exact purpose. Begin adding documents by choosing the method you wish to add documents to your loop. So we have three methods here. You have through templates, browsing, or via email. Documents added to your loop from your template section are often interactive documents, meaning they will autofill for you, and they have fields already placed on them for you to fill in and or sign. These documents are typically inherited from your brokerage or your associations. Documents added from your computer here under Browse or emailed into the loop will need to be in a PDF format. The only exception for this is if you are adding documents from your phone. On the Dotloop app, it actually allows you to add different formats. It allows you to add a photo of something, which would be in the form of a JPEG, a GIF, or like a PNG file. Otherwise, if you're on the computer, you can only add PDF files. These are flat documents that by default do not have any interactive fields on them, and they will not autofill. Our PDF editing software in Dotloop will allow you to manually edit these documents, and I'll show you what that looks like. There is an entire training portion just on interactive documents that you can do separately, but I will quickly show you for our office's benefit of where you would go to look at some interactive documents. So this is an offer. So I want to go find some interactive documents for an offer. So I'll hit templates. So our company has created these file folders here. They're all labeled. And I need a contract package because I'm making an offer on residential. Now, if you'll hover over all of these that are a little bit longer, it will tell you what it says, all of it says. So we have different template folders that I would take time to look through because there's plenty of beneficial information there. Like I said, to speed things up, we're going to just select contract package residential. And something we'll go over later in our contract training are the exact forms you would actually need. But for time's sake, you're going to just select all of these and copy them to your loop. You will not need all of these forms. There's a great checklist when it's time for you to actually write an offer to show you what forms you need and where to get those forms from. If you're writing an offer, there are some forms that would actually come from the listing agent. But these documents, which you don't need all of them, are all interactive and based on the information you would have filled in here in the View Details section and the information you would have filled out here in the People section, a lot of this information will auto-fill. So let's just start here at the top. Compensation agreement between listing agents and selling agents. This box here says autofill. So there's some information. You can even go back and add a little bit more that will automatically autofill for you because you have put that information in. So you would just hit autofill and magically it appears. There are still blanks, obviously, that you would need to fill in yourself. And of course, you would need to sign here. Notice how it says sign now. It's already assigned to you. If it wasn't, you click up here to the top left and you can choose who needs to sign that form. Like I said, there's an entire training on Dotloop that you can go to show you how to work with interactive documents. You would obviously want to save your changes. It's going to remind you. So I'll click yes, and then it's going to let me go back to my loop. If there were documents that I had from on the computer, then I could hit add documents and hit browse, and then I would need to look for that document there. Let's just say it's this purchase and sale agreement here. So I'm going to hit open. It's a PDF, so it let me upload it. So don't worry, if it's not a PDF, it's going to say you can't upload it. This is not an interactive document, so I would need to use these features at the top to edit this PDF. Now that we have prepared all of our documents, you've put all the information in there that needs to go there. We will need to send them out to the proper parties to be reviewed and signed. Although you can share from directly within a document, which means if I had a document open, I can hit share here. It is important to note that you can share from the standard loop view. Let me go back to our working loop here. So all we need to do is check mark the ones we want to send, because you're not always going to send all the documents to be signed. Once you've checked all of those, you'll click that large share button located at the top right of the document section. This will open up the Share Documents window. In this window, you will see two sections. The first is being who has access right here. This will display who currently has the most recent version of the documents. So the only people that have seen this is Scott, Realty Executives, and Sweetwater Main Street, the people that are on our team. It's not been shared, so Kathy does not have access yet. This will display who currently has the most recent version of the documents you selected and what permissions they have when interacting with the documents displayed to the right. Below this is the Add People. The terminology here may seem unclear at first, but what it's really asking is for you to add new people that are currently not in the loop to share the documents with. Check mark the people you'd like to share with. So we'd like to share it maybe with the list agent, or we'd like to share it with our clients. If you forgot to add your clients, you can do it here. Let's make Julia Wilson one. You can see she's in here 3 times. Let's give her a role. And I'm going to give her specific permissions. Dotloop is going to predict the permissions, so make sure you check this. If you're sharing it with an agent, they need to have edit in private permissions. That's the most open thing you can give them. So be very careful. You only want to do that with agents. And as you see, Dotloop reminds you right there that who it's ideal for. It's not for your clients. So for example, if the document you're sharing have signature or initial fields assigned to Bob Smith, Dotloop will set a can sign. So nothing's assigned to Julia, so they haven't predicted that. But if I want to allow her to sign something, I'll do that here. There's an entire article on sharing permissions, and I'm going to give you a handout on best practices in Dotloop that will go over this in more detail. But if you want them to sign something, make sure it says that they can sign it. If you want them to be able to edit it like a real estate agent, make sure you've set the permissions like that. Another thing you can do before you send is you can attach that document as a PDF and then share it. Please note, If you're sending a lot of attachments, if you're sending 10 pages or more, it might not allow you to attach it because the file size will be too big. So upon clicking the share button at the bottom right of the window, the share email will be sent. And I'm just going to share it to Julia so you can see what that looks like. It'll tell you that it's been shared and that it's waiting on others. You can click done, and you can see those statuses here. And as I hover over them, you can see what Julia has done. As soon as she views it, it will tell me that Julia has viewed it. And as soon as she signs it, it'll then change the status to signed. You can always go back here to the top and activity log, and you can check what the activity was. And so you can check to see if somebody's viewed, downloaded, extracted, whatever your file. Finally, once you have all your documents signed by your client, you will send the ones that need to be shared to the other agent. You will then fill out something called a front of folder, which we'll talk about more in our contracts class. Also can be auto-filled. This needs to be filled out. And you will make sure your clients have a copy of everything. Remember, your clients can create a free Dotloop account where all of these documents will be stored for them forever, so they can keep them. They can download the Dotloop app and make the documents easily accessible there, or you can print everything here. In order to print it, all I need to do is check the box, and it's going to give me different options here. I can hit print or download. They're basically the same thing, and I'll download the PDF from there and print it. You can also make a copy of it if you need to put this in another folder, or I can archive it. Notice that delete is not an option. Anything you put into Dotloop can never be deleted. That's for legal reasons. It's to protect the office. And to protect you, remember we have to keep all files for 3 years, and they need to be accessible by the broker at any time if the state is asking for them. So you have different options, like I said, archive, copy, open, print, but you need to make sure your clients have a copy of everything that they sign. The simplest thing is to have them create a Dotloop account. So once you've completed everything you need to be completed, and I don't want you to worry about that right now because we're just worried about Dotloop, you will submit it for review. Now, I created multiple folders in there, so I need to choose which ones I want to submit, maybe both of them. And I can add a note. You need to submit it for review as soon as your file is complete because there are certain drop-dead dates on your contracts that must be reviewed for compliance. So submitting it so that we can review your documents immediately is very important, and office policy. So you'll just hit submit and it would go to be reviewed. I'm not going to submit this because they'll think I'm a crazy person. Anyway, that should cover the creation of a loop, the adding of documents, the editing of documents. There are more in-depth trainings under, if you'll go to, click on your head, sorry. If you'll click on your head here and go to Help Center, it'll take you to more in-depth trainings as you might need them. If you click on agents or clients, also I have created some flyers for you, some frequently asked questions that you could give to your clients. If they have created their own loop, that's a good way to get started. I created an agent frequently asked question. So any questions that are frequently asked by other agents, or here are the questions and answers. I've created a Dotloop best practices. It's fantastic. It talks about staying organized, naming your loops, changing people's names or emails. You can always do that if you wrote their name wrong or you put the wrong email address. It happens to all of us. How to create your loop. Here are the steps for that. How to share, which is just everything we talked about. Sharing permissions, and here are those different statuses and when and why to give them. And finally, a quick loop creation guide. It goes through everything we talked about short, quick, to the point on how to create, edit, share, add, and submit for review. All of these are in your mailboxes at the office. All of these are also accessed if you go to Dotloop, if you go to templates and click on Dotloop info. They're all right there. Another great place to search for helpful info is this Main Street helpful info. Tons of information there that could be helpful for you in real estate.